We lived in a one-room, run-down shack on the outskirts of New Orleans. We didn't have money for food or rent, to say the least we were hard-pressed. Then Mama spent every last penny we had to buy me a new dancing dress. Mama washed and combed and curled my hair, and then she painted my eyes and lips. And then I stepped into a satin dancing dress with a slit on the side clean up to my hips. It was red velvet trimming and it fit me good. And standing back from the looking glass, there stood a woman where a half-grown kid had stood. She said, "Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down." She said, "Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down." Mama dabbed a little bit of perfume on my neck, and then she kissed my cheek. And then I saw the tears welling up in her troubled eyes when she started to speak. She looked at our rickety shack, and then she looked at me and took a ragged breath. She said, "Your pa's run off, and I'm real sick, and the baby's gonna starve to death." She handed me a heart-shaped locket that said, "To thine own self be true." And I shivered as I watched a roach crawl across the toe of my high-heeled shoe. It sounded like somebody else that was talking, asking, "Mama, what do I do?" She said, "Just be nice to the gentleman, fancy, and they'll be nice to you." She said, "Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down." She said, "Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down." Lord, forgive me for what I do, but if you want out, well then it's up to you. Don't now let me down, girl, your mama's gonna move you uptown. Well, that was the last time I saw my mom, the night I left that rickety shack. 'Cause the welfare people came and took the baby, mama died, and I ain't been back. But the wheels of fate started to turn, and for me there was no way out. It wasn't very long before I knew exactly what my mom had been talking about. I did what I had to do, but I made myself this solemn vow that I was gonna be a lady someday, though I didn't know when or how. I couldn't see spending the rest of my life with my head hung down in shame. You know, I might have been born just plain white trash, but fancy wasn't my name. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. It wasn't long after a benevolent man came and took me in off of the streets. And 1 week later I was pouring his tea in a 5-room hotel suite. I charmed a king, a congressman, and an occasional aristocrat. And I got me a Georgia mansion in an elegant New York townhouse flat. And I ain't done that. No, 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 no. Now in this world there's a lot of self-righteous hypocrites that would call me bad and criticize mama for turning me out no matter how little we had. And though I haven't wanted for nothing for nigh on 15 years, I can still hear the desperation in my poor mama's voice ringing in my ears. She said, "Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down." She said, "Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down." Lord, forgive me for what I do, but if you want out, well, it's up to you. Don't let me down, girl, your mama's gonna move you uptown. And I guess she did. Whoa, oh, 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 oh,
John Raymond Barker.